Hey, writers. All right, so you have already learned that when you write your teaching books, you become teachers for your readers. When you're doing a nonfiction book, you're actually a teacher teaching about your topic. And so, one way to get better at this kind of writing is to remember that as an author, you are acting like a teacher. So, you need to do things that teachers do when you're writing your nonfiction books. For example, you already learned that teachers plan. They have to plan what they're going to teach to their students. And yesterday we learned all of the tools that we can use to help us plan our nonfiction books. And I know that all of you guys are doing really good at planning your books by using your fingers, touching all of your fingers and saying what you know, sketching your pictures first, and then writing. So we already know all about that kind of teaching. Today, I want to teach you that teachers do more than just plan. They also think about their students. Teachers think, who am I teaching? And then when they have their students in their mind, they try to teach in a way that those students will understand. So, as writers of nonfiction books, you guys are the teachers and your readers are your students. So, you need to ask, who am I teaching? Who's going to be reading my book? And then you need to think, what kind of questions would that person ask me about my topic? So think about who's going to read your book and what kind of questions they might want to get answers about your topic. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today, about how to figure out what kinds of questions a reader might have about our topics. So some of you guys might be finishing a book today, and some of you guys might be starting a new book. If you want, you can use what you've learned today to add more to old books before you get started with a new one. Because remember, our goal is every day to make our books better and better when we learn new things about this kind of writing. So let's look at some of the questions that a reader might ask about our topic. And you've already seen all of these things before. So let's look at this. All right, so we are going to think about questions that readers might have. And here's some of the words that we can use in our head to think of questions. So, who? So, my topic that I was writing about is running. So, I might think that could be a question. Who can run? And I could answer that question. Who would make a good runner? Okay, the next one is where? Where can you run? That was a question that I already answered in my book. If you have another topic, you could think about where, if you're talking about an animal, where does that animal live? If you're talking about a thing, an activity, where can you do that activity? Or a sport, where can you do that sport? Okay, the next question is how? How do you run? Or how do animals get food? Think of how questions for your topic. The next one is when. When can you run? That could be a question that I could answer in my book. Or when do you play soccer? When do polar bears hunt for food? Think about when questions that you can answer on your topic. And then the last one is why. Think about why questions that your readers might have. Why would you want to run? Why do people fly on airplanes? Why do polar bears live in the Arctic? Think about some why questions that you could answer in your book. So these are the words that we're going to keep in our head, and I'm going to post this chart too so that you guys can have it to look at while you're writing. And I want you to think of these questions: who, where, how, when, why, and try to answer some of these questions in your writing. Okay, so now that you guys have learned how to think of these questions and what question words to use when we're thinking of these questions, you should have a tool in your toolbox now that helps you put lots more writing into your work, a lot more details and a lot more writing. You are probably going to be able to add on so much more to your writing just answering these questions that you might be able to fill up every line on your pages. So, your job today is to do better and better at your nonfiction writing. So, today we've learned to answer questions. If you want to go back and add more details answering these questions into some older books, you can. If you want to start a new book today, don't forget to do your planning first and then think about these questions so that you can add more details into your writing. All right, guys, it is time to get started with your writing. You will have a 20-minute timer on the next slide, and I also want you to share with me what you did today on Flipgrid. So have fun, and I will see you guys later. Bye.